Just listen to the bird song. Welcome to the One Man Show.
You are now tuned in to the One Man Show. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. One Man Show. You are watching the One Man
One man,
Show.
one man, me. What we're going to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about something which has been on my mind for a while. The world is accelerating at a pace which is difficult to keep up with. It changes every day. You buy a computer today, it's out of date tomorrow. You pay £1,000 for a computer today, it's worth 200 tomorrow. It's a throwaway society. That's what's happening. And those of us of a certain age look back and say, oh, wasn't it better when it was so much slower, the pace of life? Where there were red phone boxes at the side of the road that you used to stand in. Some of us might even remember putting money in, and when they answered at the other end, you pressed button B. But things have evolved. We can't, no matter how much we want to, we can't stay in the past because we're getting left behind at such a rapid rate of knots. It's scary. And that's got me thinking. I thought, oh, it'll be the middle of 2000 sometime round about there. Kind of 2003, 4, something like that. E-books came online. I remember panicking, thinking, oh my God, the printed book is dead. And then lo and behold, we hear on the news, printed books are making a comeback. The good old days, they're coming back. What a load of shit. They're not coming back at all. We want to hold that book. We want to be nostalgic. Oh. I'm going to sit on my chair. There's no other chair quite like this. My bench. Let me show you the view from my bench. That's my bench. Hey, it ain't bad, is it? Technology is advancing. And I've been one as well who's said, the digital books, they're rubbish. We want printed books. Let's go back to printing. And I swore I would never go back to printing. But let's go back to printing. So I did. And I've heard recently that if somebody prints a book and they achieve 10,000 sales, they can actually be top of book sales in the whole of Britain. 10,000. Hell, that's nothing. There's more people live in Darlington. In fact, that 10,000 isn't even the whole of Darlington. So when you look at those statistics, you think to yourself, hang on a minute. And I gave in 2 weeks ago to buy a Kindle HD. It's a little like an iPad. My God. It's better than an iPad. The speakers are better. The screen's better. What you can do, it's got this Alexa, and you can say, Alexa, turn on BBC Radio 2. And the bugger starts playing. But unless we embrace the technology, we are going to get left behind. Something else crossed my mind, and that was slightly out of sync. Something else crossed my mind, and that is, you know the phone that you've got? That smartphone, be it an iPhone, a Samsung, a Nokia, or whatever other brand there are. I remember when my boy got his first one, and I think he would rather have had his left leg chopped off than losing his iPhone. When you're in a restaurant, well, let's not call it a restaurant. When you're in a cafe, there's two people there. You can see them, perhaps they're a couple. They're not talking. They're both looking at the phones. When people stop riding the bikes, I've seen it. They stop riding the bike, they get off, they take all the gear off. First thing they do, look at the phones. It has now become the new TV. My brother, he hasn't even got an aerial on his house. He has no need, because he's there with his phone watching YouTube. Do you know, I produced films before we'd ever heard of YouTube and put them online. Moving on. The phone in your pocket, if it is of an iPhone, Samsung, Galaxy thingy bobby, is your world. We take photographs on it, we share it with people. Look where I am. We take selfies. Look how happy I am. We make films. Look at this bumblebee in my garden. And we share it in the world. And we share it via social media. Now, if you try and deny that that is the world, well, you're already dead. Because it's the way we are. It was computers, it was iPads, and now it is the phone. I know people would probably have a heart attack if they lost their phones. So we of a certain age who want to go back to books do you remember the dinosaurs? And the supposedly catastrophic meteorite that covered the world in dust, and therefore the dinosaurs died out because they had nothing to eat. Your smartphone is the same. It has destroyed the past. There is no going back to the past. It's dead, it's buried, it's gone. And when I bought my Amazon HD Kindle, it hit home. Why would you buy a book? I put the book up on the Kindle, and you can make them interactive. If you have an internet signal, it has to be Wi-Fi, it doesn't do 4G or anything. You can link to watch film. You can link to other information. You can be so much more interactive with it. Why would you want a book? Why would you want a book that's taking up all the space in your luggage when you can have the slimmest of iPhones, the slimmest of Amazon Kindles? Because on the iPhone you can get the Kindle app and you can download any book you want and read that. You can watch whatever films you want to watch via YouTube. You can download the digital film of a blockbuster in minutes, and it's yours to keep, to take and watch wherever you want in the world. Next time you're out and about, just watch how many times people watch that. Now, if you are looking at setting up a business and you want to go and say, I'm going to turn the tables, I'm going to produce a book, look yourself in the mirror and give yourself a slap. Because the time and effort isn't worth it. It's not worth it anymore. You have to be where the technology is. You just have to be. If you're not, you're dead. It's a fact of life. I'm not making it up. Smartphones now are everybody's tool to access whatever information they want. And they can take it wherever they want with them. Why would you not want to produce something within that world that can go around the world? Through YouTube, there's a guy in Texas watches me. I didn't know until I said, would you like a sticker? And I've got a sticker of mine all the way out in bloody Dallas, Texas. There's a woman in Norway talks to me, a palliative nurse. She wouldn't have found me if it hadn't been for Facebook or YouTube. In fact, she told me a story. Excuse me. She told me a story that a motorbike rider, was dying. Naturally. But he was coming to the end of his life. God, I'm out of breath. He was coming to the end of his life. And she gave him an iPad so that he could watch my films from YouTube. And she said she could see him smiling as he watched your films. Now you tell me if that's not amazing. Couldn't achieve that with a book. Couldn't. Impossible. So the printed book, as far as I'm concerned, it's dead. It's gone. And it would be stupid to carry on. It would be stupid to start a business thinking about it. But like King Canute trying to push back the tide. And it's only going to become more and more. It's going to increase, get bigger. In the last 28 days, I checked this morning, 80,000 minutes of my videos have been watched. 80,000 minutes. Now, if I was to sell 80,000 books, well, I think I would be turning back time, but it's just not going to happen, is it? So until the next time, bye-bye for now.
You are watching the One Man Show. Ooh.